Hello again, everyone. This is Gilmer, and this is episode 9, I believe, of my Let's Play War in the East Grand Campaign, and I'm playing as the Soviets. And before I started recording, I looked a little bit at my generals, and I really am not sure that this is the best time to start changing generals. But I did kind of look at some of them and just see what I was getting myself into. And I looked at some of these. This guy's record is 3-8, 3 victories, 8 defeats. This guy's the only one that really has a winning record that I can see. Well, actually, he does. A couple of others do, but there are a lot of them that have a huge amount of losses. And I don't know if right now, when we can expect a lot more losses to happen, is the best time to actually start changing them and putting them in charge of people. Obviously, the best generals are up here, and we want to get them to the, into command a little bit quicker, possibly, and maybe start getting them some victories. And I don't really know exactly what happens if they have a very good win-loss record, but I know that if they have a horrible loss record or win-loss record, they can be, I'm pretty sure they can be shot by Stalin or relieved of command, as a random event, not by something that I've done. They actually, I think there's probably some kind of message that says Stalin has removed so and so from command. So I'm trying to also make sure that these guys are closer to whatever HQ unit they're supposed to be under. If you go through all the HQ units, you'll see some of these units aren't within command and control range. So I've kind of been playing around a little bit with that as well. Not necessarily off camera for that, but I did it a little bit, obviously. And I just want to make sure that we get a little bit of air cover. And I know some of these are probably not ready, but honestly, I'm ready for them to start helping me a little on these battles. They should help a little, and possibly we can use them to stop some of these attacks. And really, that was the only thing that I kind of wanted to do. I did move a couple of units around, but not too much off camera. Probably 4 or 5 units at most. And partly just to make sure that, we had coverage. I think in this area I did a little bit of movement, just to make sure that there's somebody in front of this guy, because before I didn't have anybody in front of him. I had these 2 units were here, and then of course this one's there, and I don't want to be stuck in a situation where I wonder. He's got 12 movement points. He's got 16. Okay. So they're kind of covering this route. I was going to see if I couldn't come over here maybe at some point, maybe next turn, and maybe cut off some of their supply. Because if I was to move into that hex, it looks like they would be getting, their supply would have to come through, possibly this swampy area, and they hopefully wouldn't be getting as much supply. Let's see. They're on rough area. That's good. So really, I think I'm ready to actually start and execute this turn. What is this? They're in Toro Pets. Next turn, I'll move them up to Velikier Luki. God, that's a hard word to pronounce. Not because it's not because the syllables are that hard, but just the formation of them and trying to get it out as quickly as you would normally speak a word is seems very difficult. Let's see. I don't know if I did anything up here. What's this? No. Yeah. Wait a minute. No. Oh, okay. See, now he has a fortification or a entrench level of 3. And he has 1. These guys don't have any. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and I think execute this turn. I don't know if you remember from last episode, I started moving a lot more units into this area, specifically these 2 stacks of 3 each. I don't know. We'll move those guys up. I think I had them behind that river, but you know how it goes with the AI. They'll just go around them. If they're down here, they'll go through here and then come around them. So I need to stop them really probably in this area, which is mostly clear. A little bit of woods on either side. Kind of looks like well, I was going to say a bald man with the fringe on each side, but you know what I'm talking about. There's clear in the middle and there's woods on either side, and they're going to just keep barreling up through this section right here, and hopefully I can stop them. I'm moving these units down to here. I'm moving these units up, but I'm going to put them probably in this area, and then these units are coming online, trying to get them a little forward as well. Hopefully they'll get here and maybe we can just kind of shift the line up, although I don't necessarily know if I want to do that, because once you start shifting them you lose all entrenchment, I think. So I might kind of just get them to here and then start moving them north and filling in lines as needed, and maybe even use a little bit of rail right here. So down here, as usual, this area looks pretty good. A lot of pretty strong looking units stacked power wise. I don't know if you can see that, so I'll whoops, where am I? Oh, okay, here we go. You can see we got powers of 8, 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 5, 6. A little bit less strong in these 2 areas, but you got a 7, a 6 here, and a 6 here. So I think we're looking pretty good in that area. Down here it's a little weaker, but you know, we've got some strong units down here. We got 4, 5, 6s, and they're not going up against the cream of the crop. They're going up against Romanian infantry and some Germans, like this guy, but they're not concentrated German units like they are up here. So I think I have enough down here to kind of stop them or slow them down enough to keep them from doing any real damage or breaking out into this area anywhere, hopefully. And plus I've got these units, all this group of units and these units moving up to help a little bit as well. So I'm feeling pretty good about the south. The north is a little bit more concerning. This area hasn't really been hit yet, and I don't know if they're going to move any units down and try to hit these units, but they're pretty weak looking. I actually have an HQ unit sitting right on the front lines, which is stupid. Um, this area, I don't really like it too much either, but you pretty much go with what you got. If I move him back to here, then there's a 2 hex area that's open that they could probably get through, with some usage of movement points. So I don't really want to move him back. So this is a fairly weak area. And plus, we're going up against a 29. There's a 29 power. Computer's acting up again. There's a 29 power Panzer division right there. So I'm a little concerned about this area. And if he blows right through them, then these HQ units, they're not going to be worth spit. This area, sorry, I was just yawning. This area, I'm still a little concerned about, but I am getting some more units into the area. And then this area right here, it's concerning because of the power that their units have, but it's, maybe not too bad. But even if it is, we'll give ground. We'll play the bend don't break defense. That's a American football term. Bend don't break, which means you let them run up and down the field on you, but you don't actually let them score. Once you get down close to the scoring, that's when you start stiffening up and keeping them from scoring. I'm not a big fan of bend don't break, but sometimes you play the cards you're dealt, which is I'm mixing metaphors left and right here. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and execute this turn. Yeah. Well, when did we start this? We started this about 12 minutes ago? I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and end this turn. And then I'm going to close my eyes. Because if anything bad happens, I don't really want to see it, to be honest. To be honest, the work that goes into this type of game is amazing. The amount of work that they put in trying to get the order of battle and the units all correct and all that is phenomenal. How they're able to get it all done, and they get it pretty accurate. And then of course on the forums, people will tell them, "Hey, this unit's wrong or that unit's wrong," and then they usually back up their assertion with something, some kind of proof, and then it gets changed or something like that. And it's pretty cool how that works. And this is a fairly old game, but they're still patching it. They're not patching it as much or as often, but they are still patching it. This patch that we're on is 1.0807 or 1.08.07, and I think that came out in possibly December of last year, and it wasn't that long ago. So it's amazing the kind of support. And I was not talking to the developer, but I was reading the forums, and the developer says he's working on War in the East 2.0. So that's pretty interesting. I can't wait to see that. I'd love to do a let's play of that, or something. Look at that. Those guys they backed up. I don't like that. These guys should hold. Damn it. They didn't. Sons of bitches. 36,000 men. Come on. This time they should hold. Please tell me they'll hold this time. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. And then see, they're kind of piecemeal in their attacks, though. See how they're attacking with 16,000 against. Well, that was 20. Man, they retreated. He has no more movement points, though. Sucker. And they're attacking. They're not attacking across that river, so I don't get that. Yeah. Sometimes I kind of wonder. I mean, my troops must really suck that they're pushed back so easily when it's the same amount of troops or fairly close. I mean, usually when you see 34,000 against 27,000, they don't immediately retreat, which my guys did. So those groups must have kind of sucked a little. But I'm hoping that we hold out in other places, but I don't necessarily expect that to be the case. We're going to get attacked all along the front. All quiet on the Eastern Front. That's World War I, but and that was Western Front, but still, it's not going to be quiet this turn. I don't think they're going to attack in this area. I'm almost positive. They'd be fools not to attack either that or maybe even that guy. He's toast if these three groups attack. He doesn't have very much movement points, though. Or if he's out of supply or far away from his HQ. All three of them, to be honest. So that's a little heartening or encouraging that possibly they're outrunning their supply. Please. Those guys aren't going to. 3,000 men, they're not going to. They're a speed bump. Yeah. We should beat them on this. Yeah. They didn't have any AFVs. They had no tanks. Look at that guy. He's way out there in the middle of nowhere. Oh, that was a fortified region. I was a little bit scared. This guy's the one I'm worried about. Hold. Yeah. Beat yourself up on those guys. He's going to try to surround them, I think. That would kind of suck. Maybe this guy will have a. This is where they get pushed back. I'm almost positive. Yep. I knew it. But they had to use up a lot of movement points to push them back. Yeah. They're probably going to use this guy against these units. shoot. I mean, what was I expecting? You knew they were going to be able to push through some. Oh, crap. Unless they attack these guys, though, they're going to use up a lot of movement points. Well, crap. What? 28-16? My guys must suck really bad. Hold. Oh, come on. Come on. This is in that pocket way west of Minsk. They're just clearing up a few units that are isolated. Oh boy. Shit. I was hoping that we'd be able to hold them somewhat. Yeah. You knew that guy wasn't going to last for very long. There you go. Oh, no, it's not looking too bad. I mean, I'm retreating in some areas, but I kind of expected to, you're not going to win every battle, and especially the Russians. Not in 1941. You're definitely not going to win every battle. It's just that I'm kind of one of these people. I want to win every single battle. I do. I want to win every single battle, and I'm disappointed when I can't. Which obviously, in the real war, the Soviets were still retreating in July of 41. They weren't winning many battles in 41. So, all in all, I think I'm doing pretty well, but like I said, I want to win every single battle. I don't care if they're outnumbered 20-1. I want to win. I expect them to win. Let's see. Crap. I mean, they're not making it that easy for them. Oh, come on. That's because my AFVs are all shitty AFVs. All those T-26s and stuff going against Panzer IVs. You just can't stop them. So we're slowly being pushed back. That's better. That's a lot better. How they only lost 21 men, though, is beyond. Well, I guess it's because they had so many bombers helping them. And I'll probably call this episode to a close when the AI is through doing, performing their turn. shoot. Man, what do I expect though? The 42 power in that one stack. There's not much that's going to hold up against that. This guy's going to retreat too. Yeah. I need more troops in here. I need more and more troops. I gotta stop them. Wonder if I could come down through here and cut them off. Not because I think I could pocket them, but more just to, cut off their supply lines for a few turns and buy me some more time. That'd definitely be nice. He's gonna retreat. Yeah. They haven't even attacked on, some other places. Like in here. 52. Damn. Come on. You're airborne. Don't retreat. No surrender, no retreat. That's more like it. Is that a river? Is that a river? There, over across there. Where's this? It's Kiev. Okay. Ouch. I was not hoping for that. I was hoping for better. I guess they use these guys on them. That little grouping. And they retreated as well. How many turns to December? Damn. I really want to get to the point where we have an advantage in December when the blizzard hits. I think I have historic weather on, so when the blizzard hits, that's when things start turning around. He's gonna retreat. Routed. Damn. I don't need that. I don't need any more routes. Look at this. I don't like the looks of that. Eat it, Panzer Division. Eat your defeat. Excuse me. Most of these guys I was thinking were pretty strong are retreating or routing. It's really beginning to concern me. Although this guy is doing pretty damn good, but it's a bunch of hasty attacks. I don't know why they keep doing that, unless that's the only thing they're allowed to do. That might be the case if they only have 5 movement points in that stack. It sounds like somebody's being moved by a train. Bessarabskaya. Wonder who lives in there right now. Wonder what their lives are like. Or Mogilev Podolsky. Wonder what their lives are like. Tarnopol. That looks like one of theirs. Looks like we interdicted. This guy, see this guy, he's way over here. He's cut off now. Because they've done this. They kind of came down through here and then did a left turn, cutting this guy off. But hopefully, maybe I can move here, and move one of these up to Porkov. And, temporarily cut them off from their supplies until they can break the bubble. I think I've been going right at 31 minutes. I could be wrong on that. It could be 41. So anyway, I'm actually really encouraged with the way my troops are performing, to be honest with you. I think they're doing really well. And, we're having retreats and things like that. But as I said, historically, in July, the Soviets were retreating pretty much all the way up until December. So me having several actual wins is very encouraging to me. We're not, having a majority of wins, but we're having a significant amount of wins, which is, if nothing else, slowing them down. They're having to take more time, use up more movement points, and that's going to, every little bit helps. And hopefully by the time December hits, I will have a very strong line from north all the way to south, and then I'll be able to attack across the whole front. If hopefully I'm strong enough to do that, I'll do it. I'll attack all the way across the front and see if I can't start pushing them back. Because historically, 1941, the winter of 1941, the blizzard that hit, and I can't remember exactly. It might have been November when it hit, but whenever it hit, that was historically the turning point in the initial phase of the war, and they started pushing the Germans back because the Germans were not prepared for winter war in the Soviet Union, and actually their tanks weren't really good in real cold weather either. They broke down a lot, and so that's what I'm hoping is going to help me stem the flow. Because, see, they're just pushing through. They're not smashing my lines, but they're pushing slowly but steadily through, right through here, about a 5 hex wide corridor that they're just pushing. And Smolensk is at the end of it. Now, see, they're leaving these guys kind of behind, so possibly I can cut off and maybe, make a pocket of those units that are pushing forward so hard. You never know. See, they keep retreating. Don't retreat. Don't retreat. Fight. Fight back. Okay, that's a good one. They couldn't do anything with us there. Not really liking these guys retreating when it's a hasty attack. Don't like that at all. They should be fighting harder. Now, if he attacks northeast, he's attacking across the river. These guys are probably gonna attack this guy. I don't know if he can attack, even with a hasty attack, but he's probably gonna attack. But this is pretty much what it is. Each turn, you set up your defensive lines. Um, you know, let them do whatever damage they're going to do, and then rebuild your lines again. I'm not sure why this guy's way down here. Oh, it's a fortified unit. Never mind. That's why it's left. I left it because of that. But that's what you do. You let the AI do its turn. Push your guys back, make holes in your line, and then you go and reorganize and close up the lines, and hopefully make them take longer than they really wanted to in taking your land, so that at some point they miss their goals, and by the time winter hits, you're able to attack back and take back all the land that they took. Not Probably not immediately, but hopefully we'll be able to weaken them a lot in the winter of 41, and then we'll be able to put more and more pressure on them as the years go on, and make that make the German army collapse. It gets to the point. It's hopefully it's a little bit. Well, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know necessarily how great this was, but in war in Russia, but in war in Russia, once you started attacking in the winter of 41, and you started pushing everybody back and routing units and beating them, it was really tough for them to come back. They started really losing, tanks and men at a prolific rate after December 41. And you just got to the point where you were just pushing them back until by the time you got to 43 or 44, they didn't have enough troops and tanks to replace the ones that they've been losing. And it just got to the point where you're just pushing them back on all fronts, so that they just couldn't keep the onslaught from coming. And I mean, that's pretty much what happened in real life, is that they got to the point where they were at their breaking point, and the Soviets just were, constantly attacking and just pushing them back and out of the way. Well, this AI is taking a long time. I know Bullis Kappa Flow was telling me that in 42 and 43, the AI might take 20 to 30 minutes for their turn. Well, this is 41, and it's already getting to the point where it's taken 20 to 30 minutes for them to run their turn. This seems like a long time. I mean, it's still working because these numbers are changing. That was, see, it went from 342 to 762. I don't know. I have no clue what these numbers are. I'm sure somebody has figured it out at this point, but I do not know anything intrinsic about these numbers. I have no idea what it is. So next turn, I'm gonna close this episode almost as soon as the AI is over. But next turn we'll look at weather a little bit, see if we can't see if the weather's changing in July. Oh, it's my turn. The AI is done. I'm pretty sure that the weather in July was still pretty good, and in August, September, I think it was a little rainy. Historically, September was rainy. October was kind of a mix of rain and snow and sleet and a little bit of freezing, a little bit of wet, and then November is when I think actually the blizzard hit. Early November, if I remember correctly, but I'm not positive. But I'll look into that and see what it says. I'm hoping it's in November, and it means that I only have at most 4 months before the blizzard hits, when things should start turning my way, hopefully. So here we go. This is really the end. We'll take a look at losses before. Well, it'll show me the losses before, and we'll look at them before we leave. There we go. So I've lost 747,000 men. That's still a pretty good amount. They've lost 92,000. So 38,000 dead, 921 captured, 52,900 disabled, meaning injured to some extent. I don't know. And only 1,186 have returned, so I would think this is kind of a subset of these men that are disabled, and then 1,186 of them were healed up enough to come back to the fight. So they're losing, not anywhere near me, but I think I'm not losing as much historically as the Soviets did. And they've captured a lot. And that was a lot from that pocket. So they've captured 428,000. And then 233,000 have been disabled. And 85,508 have been killed. So that's what the losses look like. So anyway, this will be the end of this episode. And thank you very much for watching. And I will see you next time.